Welcome back from the break. In case you've just joined us, you're watching Men. And what are we discussing here? We're discussing the things that women need to look out for to know that a man is ready to take it to the next level. Now, we're here at the Sheraton Kampala Hotel, and just before we went into the break, Ransom was trying to edge his way in to say something. So, Ransom, please go ahead.
Okay. No, I was saying, if the topic that we're discussing is what should women be on the lookout for, what are the signs that a man is ready to take it to the next level, then we have to be careful not just to list the things that women are already looking out for. If we have a situation where guys are just not committing, it means that there's something wrong there. If you have a whole bunch of guys out there and women are looking out for these things and the guys are not committing, it means that perhaps there's a possibility that they're looking out for the wrong signs. You see? For me, I know I was making a joke before, like when the guy says, "Yeah, will you marry me?" That's a very good sign that he's ready to take it to the next level. That's the one to look out for primarily. But and I was actually agreeing with you that some of the things that you said are absolutely correct, Sandra. If I take you to see my parents, and if I ask to see your parents, that's
a good sign. Yeah,
a good sign. But then it's also. I think there's a worry also about not a lot of times people pick their wife from their circle of friends, people who they already hang out with. So you have to be careful about saying, am I hanging out with his friends or not? Joseph again was absolutely right. If you are eye candy and you're a trophy chick, it might be a guy just wanting to show his friends that look at this woman that I have. So you have to be careful to distinguish where you are, the level that you are in terms of that.
Okay, Joseph.
Yeah, I think it's a blessing that we have that she's here on this show where we discuss this, because it's what women should look out for, right? Now, the thing that happened in the first episode was a typical woman being obsessed with what they think they should look out for without actually trying to...
First episode?
First break. Sorry. Before the break, yes. Yeah. First segment, yeah? Because now you are going on about what you look out for, not what you should look out for, okay? And I think, for guys don't talk a lot about these things. When they're going to marry, very often guys don't ask. They make a decision, and they'll probably tell other guys about it. So you have to look out for signs, and guys are like that. Women go and talk about things, guys do things and hope you will interpret them. Okay? And one of the signs that you should interpret is if that guy gives you the house key.
High five.
That's one of the best signs. No man wants to be snuck up on. But if they have given you a key, it means you can now.
It's different if you take the key and you make a photocopy yourself.
Yeah, those are two different
Which
things.
is what's happening now.
So you've been through some photocopying experiences.
When a man
I've
gives
had
you...
to change locks.
Women, very many men may not tell you, I love you every day. When they give you their house key, that's probably what they are saying.
Yeah.
Okay, probably to add on to also what he has said, is that yes, he may give you the house key. And that also gets us to a point where also, if he is spending most of the time, or you're spending most of your time as a guy in her apartment, or she's spending most of the time in your apartment, that, I mean, men want to do kind of, call it some kind of test, okay? And want to see before he actually goes for the real act, he wants to kind of test the waters. Am I going for the right thing?
If I may just say something
If I may just say something about things that you think
You are going to get bashed.
Men date a lot of women who actually don't have their own houses. They live with their parents.
No, and even if you
No,
have
I'm
your
giving a
own
scenario.
house.
No. This is where I'm coming from. And those are very many scenarios. For example, I've not met a girl who stays alone. They all stay with their parents. So what happens? But when someone...
even if she has her own house, if the man is always coming to your house, that's not a good sign.
That's a sign.
It's when he lets you come to his place.
That's the sign.
That's the sign.
That's the sign. It's letting you into his space anytime.
Peter, I wanted to say, I agree with some of the things that you're saying, you know, that spending time with people is very important. I personally think my philosophy on spending time with people is I think that spending time with people is it's the number one way to fall for people. Spend time with them. If you don't want to fall for someone, don't spend time with them, because time is your most precious resource.
Exactly.
So if you're spending time with people, you are definitely going to...
You're investing.
Meet their friends, get to know who's calling them. They're going to start telling you all sorts of like random stories about who was talking to them at work. And all those things, it means that all of a sudden you have to open this new file in your life called, you know, if her name is Janice, as you are saying. And so there's Janice's friend, there's Janice's boss, there's Janice's parents, and you have this file, and you start, and the file just continues increasing. Mm-hmm. So you spend time with people, you're most likely going to fall in love with them. But what I wanted to say is, and I know this from someone very close to me, at work. At work, she was dating this guy, and he had money, and he did the stuff. He did the, the expected things. He sent her out on holiday. They went together. He wined her. He dined her. But then he asked her to marry him. And then she thought about it. And she said, no, there hasn't been enough time spent with this guy. I mean, he comes, we'll have dinner. But then he's gone for 2 weeks at a time, and he comes back. And he'd been great for the family, and they'd loved him, and they'd supported him. And he had supported the family. But in the end, she then ended up marrying a guy who was probably not as rich as this guy, and had probably not given her as many gifts, but because that
nullifies the gift thing.
In some analysis, I think, and I've seen this happening, and I know from my ex-girlfriend that sometimes money isn't really a large consideration, because we know for a fact that in this town, in this country, people have used money to mask themselves as something, or people who have intentions that they actually did not have. So they'll give you a car, they'll give you a house. They'll use all these shows of affection, and then eventually just take the cookie and run.
Yeah. The issue of you know, a guy foregoing time with his friends, or foregoing time with his with his soccer or whatever. Again, that's something that you have to be careful about, because I will quote the good doctor again. There's a term that was coined 2 seasons ago or something.
Season 1.
Yeah. Was it season 1?
Season 1.
Recreational playmate. What a guy is actually looking for is a woman that can fit into the things that he does, to go to the same bar, to enjoy soccer with him. And the guy might be very interested in you, and he might be interested enough to forego those things, but it won't be for long. It's not always going to be like that. So you need to find...
Even when he gets married to you, he's going to still watch it.
If a guy's that's what's for 15 years,
if I can expound, if you can allow me expound on that point, where I said when the guy forgoes, not all the time, but forgoes his buddies and creates time for you. The other bit also to add on to that, no, not all the time, okay? But also the other thing that I need to add on is when actually this guy goes an extra mile to actually want to, to be with you, but together with his buddies. Not exactly that, shed off his buddies
maybe
completely.
It is because he can't split himself into two. I mean, so he brings all the things he loves.
Let me also give you other signs that women look out for to see if this relationship is actually serious. Is when you actually he moves, you start seeing this normal relationship going into overdrive. He kind of gets excited, like the first day school excitement. He kind of throws flowers for anything, for no reason. He wants all of a sudden he wants give me a chance.
Signs of a man who wants a cookie.
It could all be different things. Okay, he goes into overdrive where he actually is kind of laying some kind of platform to move to a next level of proposing. He goes out to help out. Men don't like shopping. Okay, but because they're the non-verbal creatures that will use all signs or sentiments to actually show some signs okay, that they're actually into something, he's laying a strategy to actually say, so that by the time he places the question, will you marry me? It's a soft landing. Okay,
let me contradict you here, actually. When a man is comfortable with you, they don't have to be with you arm in arm with their friends. They actually tell you, I'll be done with the game at 10, okay? You can join me. They're comfortable enough with you now to tell you, and they can take it to the next level, not being around with you the way you think. Therefore, going soccer and everything. That's
no. He keeps you. No. He also keeps you into his plans because you already know where he is. Okay. He keeps you updating. He keeps updating you because if he's not ready to tell you what his plans are, then you're going to have a problem.
Can someone please bring out Peter's chain? Peter, just go to the cage.
That's someone who is scared of you instead. Yes. Who is worried that you might not be the one. Or he might not be the one for you.
Peter, actually, there's maybe 1-2 things I would like to say here. When a guy lets you into their world, life, right? Into the way they see things, into their plans, into how they go about life, which is so I'm not shooting down your point. I'm just saying that that's not necessarily one that cuts across the board because I never gave my key to my wife, but I married her, right?
But you never gave it to anyone else also.
Never. No.
Now those of us who have given out keys can say.
So what I'm saying is that it might be a little misleading if we just say that if a guy hasn't given you his key, he's not serious. So a girl goes.
That's not what we're saying. We're saying when he gives it to you. When he gives it to you.
Exactly. So we agree that the principle is actually for a guy to give you his key, for a guy to say, let's open a joint account, for example.
A lot of guys get married and they still don't do that.
I know, but there's guys who do that. Yes. He wants to share his money with you or get into planning for that. He's asking you stuff like, should we buy that house or this land? If when a guy gets you into his functional world,
yes.
I think that's a very good sign that he's serious about a long-term relationship.
It's a very good sign, but they misinterpret the sign.
Yes, that's true.
Of coming into your space. A guy who wants a long-term relationship with you actually wants you to be in their space. They don't want you to ask for permission. They don't need to give you permission. That's why they give you a key. That's why they don't have to call you.
What we're going to do is we're going into a break. As soon as we get back, I'm going to
complete.
Yes, you're going to complete, and you're also going to give us the exact signs, which. So, because I think you need to be educated on them. Yes. To look up, but you're already well versed on that. Yeah. In case you've just joined us, we're here on Men, and we are talking about the signs that women need to look out for to know that a man is ready to take it to the next level. You can also Please don't forget, this is your show. We want to hear from you. So get to us through Facebook. Our Facebook page is NTV Men. Like it and then give us your feedback. You can also send us an SMS on 6565 or a private email, that is men@ntvuganda.co.ug. We'll be right back after the break.